What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about if the Atlanta Falcons should trade back in the 2022 NFL Draft. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you would like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So in today's video, as I mentioned, I do want to talk about if the Atlanta Falcons should trade back in the 2022 NFL Draft. As most of you already know, this coming week, this Thursday, is the 2022 NFL Draft, April 28th. And I'm really excited and intrigued to see what the Atlanta Falcons decide to do with that number 8th pick in the first round of the draft, or whether they would trade back or whether they stay at 8 and make a selection. But with that being said, personally, if I were Terry Fontenot or the GM of the Atlanta Falcons, I wouldn't trade back in this draft. I would stay at that number 8th pick and take the best player available. The reason I state that is we need to get, because we're in a rebuild mode at this point, we're retooling. We need to get as many impact players as possible. We need as many players that can play from day one as possible. And personally, I believe in drafting best player available like we did last year when bringing in Kyle Pitts. He was a rookie tight end last year for us and made the Pro Bowl in his first year and pretty much was our best receiving target, our best offensive threat for our Atlanta Falcons last season. And personally, I'm in the draft, I believe in being very aggressive and, trusting your scouts, trusting what you've seen on tape out of these college players, trusting what you've seen at the combine. But for me, I believe in being, like I said, aggressive. I believe in taking the best player available. I'm not huge on trading back unless you have a plan. If you're going to trade back, you better have a plan when you trade back, because a lot of the players that I think the Falcons are targeting or players that the Falcons need, they're not going to be available in the late first round. Like if you want a Jordan Davis or if you want a Drake London or if you want one of the top edge rushers like a Kevon Thibodeau or a Jermaine Johnson, depending on how far the Falcons trade back, I don't believe those guys will still be on the board. And to me, defensive linemen and offensive linemen are harder to find in the later rounds. Unless you have a really good scouting team, it's hard to find the Grady Jarretts and, guys of that nature that are Pro Bowl, multiple Pro Bowlers late in the later rounds, like after the 3rd and 4th round. It's hard to find those guys that could be Pro Bowl caliber players unless you have a really good scouting unit. So if I'm the Falcons, especially because we need to draft trench players, like drafting the trenches, it's easier to find like skill position players in the later rounds, like running backs and wide receivers. You can find those type of position players anywhere in the draft. But as far as the trenches, finding, top-notch offensive linemen, top-notch defensive linemen, edge rushers, nose tackles, you have to draft those guys normally in the 1st and 2nd round. That's where you're going to find majority of the blue chip type players. And I feel like the Falcons, because we're bare, the coverage bare on the defensive line, we have to go in this draft and be aggressive and take a player at 8. If I'm the Falcons, I'm taking Jordan Davis with that 8th pick, or I'm taking, like I said, best player available. If our scouting team and Terry Fontenot, they don't want to take a nose tackle like Jordan Davis with that 8th pick, I'm taking the best edge rusher available, whether that's Kevon Thibodeau or whether that's Jermaine Johnson. I'm taking one of those top edge rushers. And then if they decide to go wide receiver, you guys know I'm a huge Drake London fan. I'm taking Drake London with that 8th pick if he's still on the board, or I'm taking one of the top offensive linemen, Ike Ekwonu. I'm taking him, or I'm taking Evan Neal out of Alabama at the offensive line position. So if I'm the Falcons, I'm not trading back. I'm staying at 8 and I'm taking the best player available because we need players that can come in from day one, like Kyle Pitts did last year and hit the ground running. We need as many impact players on our team as possible, and we don't have time to draft a bunch of guys that need, development. Yes, I believe in player development, but I feel like in the first round, and that's the reason why I really don't want the Falcons to take a quarterback necessarily in the first round, is because these guys are going to need time to develop. Malik Willis and Matt Corral, the guys that the Falcons have been linked to, both of those guys are going to at least need to sit for one season or maybe 2 seasons up under Marcus Mariota to learn the scheme and to get used to the speed of the NFL. So I really feel like at this point, because the Falcons have so many needs, I don't believe the Falcons can afford to draft a quarterback right now. And I don't feel like the Falcons have time to draft guys that need a lot of development with those first round picks or that top first and second round picks. I don't believe that the Falcons should take guys that are still in the development stage. I feel like they need to go out and get guys that can play from day one. So if I'm the Falcons, I'm not trading back. I wouldn't be upset if Terry Fontenot, decides that they want to trade back. They must, if they are going to trade back, I think that they can't go any lower than like number 15 or 16. They have to be somewhere in the teens. You can't trade back into the 20s. If you trade back into the 20s, then the Falcons, if they do decide to trade back into the 20s, that's telling me that they're either trying to go after a wide receiver or they're trying to go after maybe like a Jordan Davis because they believe he's going to fall and they don't want to take, Jordan Davis at 8. But personally, I feel like if you trade back into the 20s or even the late teens, I don't think Jordan Davis is going to be on the board because he performed really well at the combine. And I think teams like the Baltimore Ravens, teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, teams like the New England Patriots, those teams year in and year out, even teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, they value, defensive linemen. And I can see one of those teams trading up and trying to take Jordan Davis, or I can see those, one of those teams, if they're ahead of us, them drafting a guy like Jordan Davis. So if I'm the Falcons, I'm staying at 8. I'm taking the best player available. Personally, I think the best player available for the Falcons' needs, who will have the most impact for our Falcons team, would be Jordan Davis because he can affect the whole defensive unit as a whole. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of the video. Do you think that the Falcons should trade back or should they stay put at 8? Personally, I'm staying put at 8 and I'm taking best player available because the Falcons need that impact player. But with that being said, this being your boy Jew, I have a lot more content coming for you guys, so definitely stay tuned. But I'm definitely excited about the upcoming NFL draft. You guys leave your thoughts and your comments as well. And please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Your boy is on the road to 2,000 subscribers. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.